Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for February 12, 2024. And in the news this afternoon, police and the soldiers and election workers vote February 22. Director of Elections Glassball Brown says special service electors will vote on February 22 ahead of the February 26 local government election. This group comprises members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Jamaica Defense Force, and Election Day workers. Under the Representation of the People Act, provisions are made for these electors to vote 3 days before the rest of the population to ensure that they are available for duty on Election Day. Election Day workers, military and police personnel who do not vote on February 22 will not be able to do so on February 26 as their names have been extracted from the voters list to accommodate the February 22 voting and therefore will not be on the more than 30,000 people who will be engaged as Election Day workers, including presiding officers, poll clerks, supervisors, drivers, logistics coordinators, and handymen. We are comfortable and we anticipate that we will have a good election come February 26, Brown told the news. He advised that Jamaicans who do not hold a new voter ID card will be allowed to cast their ballots on Election Day. If you have your new ID card, it will allow the process to go much faster. However, as long as you are on the voters list, you will be allowed to vote, Brown said. He reminded Jamaicans that by law, every elector is allowed time off from work to vote. We are appealing to business owners, we are appealing to various institutions to allow persons who are desirous of casting their ballots the time off to go and to do so. They should be allowed 3 hours between the period of 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., he said. Foreigner and 3 others arrested following gun and ammunition seizure in Portland. The Mansion Hill police have arrested 4 men, including a foreign national, in relation to the seizure of a firearm and ammunition in Peng Beach, Mansion Hill in Portland on Sunday. The police say about 3:40 p.m. they were patrolling the area when a white Suzuki Swift motor car with 4 men aboard was seen. Upon seeing the police, the driver of the motor vehicle started acting in a manner that aroused the suspicion of the team, and the driver was signaled to stop. The occupants and the vehicle were searched, and a 9mm Ruger pistol with a magazine containing 9 rounds was reportedly found in a brown bag beneath the driver's seat. All 4 men were taken into custody, pending further investigations. The vehicle was also seized. Vybz Kartel's appeal to be heard by Privy Council February 14 to 15. Attorney at law Isaac Buchanan, who represents the embattled DJ Vybz Kartel, is now in England to argue the DJ's appeal in the United Kingdom-based Privy Council, Jamaica's final appellate court, between February 14 and 15, 2024. Vybz Kartel is currently serving a life sentence for the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The key points are the jury management issues, the discharging of a jury, and the failure to discharge the bribing jury, the judge handing the case to the jury so late in the day at 3:42 p.m., and the admissibility of JS2 in breach of the charter rights, Buchanan told the news. The JS2 is telecommunication and the evidence entered in breach of the charter right to privacy, he added. The central plank in the defense's Privy Council appeal questions the validity of cell phone and other telecommunication evidence presented by the prosecution, which the defense argued had been compromised. The defense lawyers intended to argue that the telecom evidence had been obtained in breach of the fundamental right to the protection of privacy of communication guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms contained in the Jamaican Constitution. Kartel's defense team is also contending that the police request to Digicel and the Digicel's provision of data to the police were carried out in breach of the Interception of Communications Act. Vybz Kartel and his co-appellants had already tried and failed to introduce 2 additional grounds for appeal, including the introduction of evidence that a Kartel's cell phone had shown signs of tampering while in police custody. In February 2023, the Privy Council denied the 2 applications. Another one of the major bones of contention in the case is the attempted jury tampering. During the trial, the judge, Justice Lennox Campbell, became aware of an allegation that a jury had attempted to bribe the jury forewoman by offering $500,000 to influence other jurors to return a not guilty verdict. The offer was also allegedly made to some other jurors by Livingston Kane. After discussing the attempted jury tampering with both the prosecution and the defense, Justice Campbell decided that the trial should proceed, opting not to discharge a jury or the particular juror who was accused of offering the bribes. Kane was later found guilty in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court of perverting the course of justice. He was sentenced to 12 months in prison at hard labor. Buchanan will also be arguing the question, was the judge wrong to invite the jury to reach a verdict late in the day, given the special circumstances of the case? Court records note that Justice Campbell finished his summing up at 3:42 p.m. on March 13, 2014. The jury returned at 5:35 p.m. when the forewoman told the court that the jury had not reached a unanimous verdict. However, Campbell sent the jury out again, and they returned at 6:08 p.m. and by a majority of 10-1 convicted the appellant of the murder of Williams. Back in July, Bert Samuels, the attorney for Sean Storm Campbell, had announced that the UK court has set tentative dates of April 16 through 18 in 2024 to hear the main arguments in the quartet's appeal. However, Kartel's battle with Graves' disease, a condition which was reportedly exacerbated when the fever DJ was placed in a 23-hour stint in solitary confinement after 2 cell phones were found in his cell, led to an expedited date for the appeal on humanitarian grounds. His condition is being managed as best as possible in the circumstances currently. Proper treatment, however, is needed, Buchanan said. Vybz Kartel reportedly suffers from Graves' disease and 2 heart conditions. In March 2014, Kartel, real name Adijah Palmer, Sean Storm Campbell, and the 2 associates, Kahira Jones and Andre Madison St. John, were all found guilty of killing Clive Lizard Williams. Williams disappeared and his body was never found. After their conviction was largely upheld by the Jamaica Court of Appeal in April 2020, the 4 men moved to the Privy Council, the final court of appeal for Jamaica, seeking to overturn their life sentences that range from 22 to 32 years before parole. The Privy Council has assigned a panel of 5 justices: Lord Reed, Lord Lloyd Jones, Lord Briggs, Lord Burrows, and Lady Simler, who will hear arguments from both sides on key issues in the case.